What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy NextGenNero back with another review. Today we got to talk about Dead Island 2, why I think it's a zombie slaying masterpiece, and why I think we actually need more games like this, man. So, before we dive into this review, I just want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Sticks Figures Gaming. He's a behavioral scientist, author, fashion designer, and plenty more things. Homie is legit a walking bucket of talent. He's a great supporter. He has plenty of great articles on his website that I really recommend reading and checking out. And I also want to highlight his clothing store with his latest drops, which you can see on the screen. Links is in the bio, but let's get into why you're here. And the first thing I want to talk about is the graphics. So look, guys, starting off first with the graphics, this game is absolutely beautiful, right? I loved every second of exploring LA. I love the gore system in this game, man, how brutal it is, how brutal the world looks. Like, you know, sometimes I just walk in a room and see all the blood splattered all over the ground, and I'm like, damn, what the heck happened here? You know, what's going on? It looks like what actually is happening, a zombie outbreak, right? All of the blood and dead bodies that fill the world is awesome. So many times I stopped and looked around like, man, I would hate to be the guy. It's like, I would just hate to be in this situation here. It looked like, you know, people got massacred, man. So I love when games can tell stories through their environment, and I feel like that get overlooked a lot in games. So I always try to highlight them whenever I feel like a game does it well. And Dead Island 2 does it exceptionally well, in my opinion. I played on the Xbox Series X, and the game looks and ran flawless. I have no complaints all around. The game's a very optimized package, and it's nice to see games launching in great states and not needing months and years to be fixed and patched down the road just to be in a playable state, you know. The lighting and dismemberment is also worth highlighting. Whether it's night or day, the game looks amazing. The lighting is very great. It's highly detailed. And in regards to dismemberment, it's done exceptionally well. The amount of times I hit a zombie in the face with a bat or a crowbar and left his jaw hanging off his face was awesome. The gore system in Dead Island 2 is legit amazing. And I can't wait to see how they step up the gore system they use in this engine with Dead Island 3. And maybe, you know, UE5 in the future. You know, this game did pretty well from my knowledge, so I'm really looking forward to see how they improve going forward, right? So the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the gameplay and combat. The gameplay and combat, man, it's one of the most satisfying zombie killing games I have ever played. Every weapon I use, and trust me, I use plenty, had weight and impact behind every swing, whether it's a crowbar, a sledgehammer, a golf club, you know, shout out Joe, or a gun. Everything felt great to use and swing. And that's just me speaking on behalf of the base normal weapons I picked up. When you start customizing your weapons, the combat gets even better. From having a katana tweaked with flames or electric bat, the possibilities for how you approach combat and kill these zombies is endless. It's plenty of side missions and activities as well, so you have plenty of time and opportunities to, you know, try all your weapons you collect along the way. I definitely recommend exploring the world and just trying to open doors and stuff throughout the world and finding little crates and finding dope weapons that are suits of playstyle. I also want to highlight how challenging the game can be at times, right? I legit died plenty of times and even found myself getting frustrated here and there. But what's that old saying? Get good, pal. But I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, no matter how outnumbered you are, you know, when the game might have a little difficulty spike with a lot of zombies, the game really encourages you to use your environment, right, to your advantage. You see a puddle? Cool. Lower the zombies in that puddle. Use an electric weapon, and you can take out plenty of them, right? You got the usual barrels that explode, you know, typical video gaming stuff. But it's definitely ways to use the environment. So make sure you think outside the box before you give up and throw a hissy fit, man. It's always a way around it. And I love that. So the story world and the cast is the last major points I want to touch on in the story. Let's touch on the story. Let's just touch on the story, because I'm going to be honest. The story was by far the weakest aspect of this game. Although it's full and funny, you know, with unique characters that you meet along the way, I just never fully felt engaged with the main plot. But that just goes back to me to highlight the title, Zombie Slaying Masterpiece, right, that I used earlier. I don't believe anyone is picking up this game for the story, and I would argue nobody's picking up, something like Dying Light for the story as well. You pick up Dying Light, you're picking it up to, parkour around the world in fun, unique ways, and just, slay zombies the same way you slaying zombies here, but just to a more linear scale, right? The main story isn't horrible. They just aren't the main focus of the games, in my opinion. You can tell that the story kind of took a backseat, and it was more so focused on, the gore system, the killing, just the ways to kill, the customization. And honestly, in a game like that, I feel like that's okay. Now, would a better flushed out story be appreciated? Hell yes, I think it would be. But when the game core gameplay loop is just this fun and addictive, I'm like, no, it can slide, right? The cast was decent as well. As cringe as the dialogue can be, I legit found myself laughing out loud multiple times, man. A couple missions, a couple people you come across. It takes place in LA. In Hollywood, which kind of makes up for it, because it's like, Hollywood is full of fake people, cringe people, celebrities, stuff like that, right? Depending on how you view it. So from that perspective, it kind of makes sense when you take that aspect into it, right? Now, as far as the world, like I mentioned in the graphics section, the world is extremely done well. It's semi-open world, like, it's open hub areas, I would say, and you can, travel through there. It's a quick loading screen and you get in other areas. So I actually like that. I feel like the scope being dialed back in Dying Light 2 is actually in its benefit, in, my honest opinion, because it's not just a bunch of question marks all over the place. Like I said, it's more linear, and I actually think that's a plus. I'm tired of, these big open Ubisoft world games with a bunch of question marks on the map and stuff like that, and that's cool. But that's why, I want to shout out Dying Light 2, because they does that well, especially with the verticality of that world. But I feel like for this to be the opposite of that and just have a smaller, more focused world and just, story, I absolutely love that, man. The story is not too long at all. It's about, I think, 24 main missions, and it shows you on the before you load in, like, your progress and stuff, right? So I think that's very dope, and it has a handful of side missions and little rescue missions and stuff you can do. So I like that, man. I like a little complete small package that's not just overwhelming with just so much to do to the point where it's boring. I feel like that would have been a negative aspect, but since the game is just sweet and short and to the point, it's very fun. And it took a long time to get this sequel, but I definitely think it was worth the wait. I personally think this game is better than the original game. That's just my opinion. I know people might disagree with that. The nostalgia factor definitely shares a big role in that. But I love Dead Island 2. I think it's better than Dead Island 1, and I kind of had more of a good time with Dead Island 2 than I have with Dying Light 2. That's something. That just goes to show how good I think this game is, because once again, I think Dying Light 2 was an amazing game, and I thought that before Dying Light 2 got all the updates. I was there day one, and just two great games, man. I definitely recommend Dead Island 2. It's in Game Pass. Hit your boy with a like. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's been your boy NextGenNero. Feel free to discuss if you agree with this view, if you disagree with this review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.